I'm Sean Collins. Here's what you need to know about a chemical known as benzene. Now, you may have heard of benzene. You may associate it with, for example, gas stations, and that's true. It does start out there. It's used in the oil industry. You see it sometimes at factories. Also, you can see it at landfills where years ago it was buried. And from one of those locations, a gas station, a factory, or a landfill, benzene, which was spilled onto the ground, or dumped, or poured, or buried years, sometimes decades ago, winds up in our groundwater. It's allowed over the years to bleed down through the soil, and it gets into the groundwater perhaps 100 feet below the ground surface. And that's where the problem starts for human beings. Because if you have a home which gets its water via a private well, that means the water coming out of your kitchen tap, coming out of the shower head in your bathroom, is coming right from the groundwater below the home. And if there's benzene in that groundwater, that's what's coming out of the tap or out of the shower head, and human beings can be drinking it, or it can be contacting their skin, say when they're bathing. But there's another way too that the benzene comes into contact with human beings, and that's through a process called vapor intrusion. Benzene is part of a family of chemicals called VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Fancy name for just meaning it can turn into a vapor down in that groundwater. And when it does turn into that vapor, it seeps back up through the soil and can slip through the tiniest cracks in the basement floor of a home or, say, an office building. And then all of a sudden, human beings are breathing it in their air and they don't even know it. That leads us to the health information about benzene. Why do we care about whether it's in our water or in our air, for example, that we're breathing? Well, let's start with this. Most importantly, there is no safe level for benzene. No level of benzene that is not potentially dangerous to human beings. The health organizations here in the United States have said that benzene can cause cancer. It's associated most closely with leukemia, various different kinds of leukemias. This is a dangerous chemical. We need to know that. It's especially dangerous potentially for children because this chemical, benzene, disrupts the functioning of the human immune system. Children's immune systems are far less well developed than, say, adults' immune systems are. So a chemical like benzene is especially disruptive and therefore especially dangerous to children. The bottom line of all of this is if you suspect that benzene may be in your water, in your home, or in your neighborhood, or in the air that you're breathing in your home or neighborhood, you need to do everything you can to take it out of any place where it could come into contact with anyone in your family. It is very definitely a dangerous chemical. Now, those are just some important bullet points about benzene. There's more information available to you. You could go to my law firm's website, collinslaw.com, and click on our environmental blog, and you'll see even more detailed information about this dangerous chemical known as benzene.